Hey guys, welcome back to the Target series. Now we're in phase 4, or block 4 as we call it, of the CET. In the last video you just saw Bruce shoot his static CET out to 25 meters in here. And again, of course, if you have the outdoor range to get out there and shoot it further, I highly suggest that. So what we're going to do now in this block is we're going to do manipulations. Okay, so manipulations is everything from tactical reloads or proactive reloads, speed reloads, failure to fire, stovepipes, and double feed. So it's very similar to the handgun series if you've watched that. We're also going to add in one more thing. Besides just the malfunctions that we need to clear, we can also transition to our handgun. So you will see a transition at the end as well, and we'll show you guys how that gets set up. Okay, we're still being scored for everything here. We've fired 70 rounds so far, all the way out to 100 meters. Now we're going to finish those last 30 rounds with the manipulation block. Step 1 is going to be proactive reloads. Okay guys, the first step is the tactical or proactive reloads. I like to call it proactive because that's what we're being, right? We're trying to be proactive in a tactical scenario. Now we have major fight formulas and stuff that we share in our courses, but to give you just a simple one real quick, all you got to do is ask yourself, that solves a lot of controversies. What do I need to do and what's a risk I'm about to take? What resources do I have available on me? And that'll help me decide what decision to make, right? Now time's always a variable, right? We don't have time in a gunfight. You don't know how much time you have until after a gunfight, so this is why we need to add speed to this as well. So with the proactive reload, what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot 5 rounds on my own, and then I'm going to reach down, I'm going to delay my shot timer, and then I'm going to have 6 seconds when that timer goes off as I'm searching and assessing to conduct a proactive reload. Okay? Now I don't need to fire again, it's just 5 rounds, and then I want to see how I manipulate the gun. Okay, so that's all I'm doing is trying to get my hands back on the forearm. I'm going to do that one more time. And you can see, even taking all the time, there's plenty of time to do it. For speed reloads, all you're going to do, you're going to have an empty magazine. Okay, I'm going to take and properly tack reload the empty magazine into the gun. Make sure it's seated. And then we're going to set the shot timer to 4 seconds. And that's ready to go. So all I have to do is 1, reload 1. 1, reload 1. Now I'm going to do a static one first, which means keeping the stock in my shoulder so as I reload here. And the next one I'll do is a breakdown reload. Because if you ever need to move and shoot or move and reload, you're going to probably break the weapon down because it's not easy to put a box in a box while you're running when it's in your shoulder. Okay, so break it down so you have straight lines are strong, angles are weak. Okay, all right, here's what that looks like. Now, the drill's not over until you set it back up. So safely bend down, pick up your mag, do a proper tack reload to get that extra rep in. You're ready to go one last time. Now I'm going to break the gun down. Okay, so that's speed reload, pretty simple. Now we're going to keep that full mag in the gun, and we're going to start working our 3 malfunctions, starting with failure to fire. So just like referencing back to the handgun video, I'm going to mag out, round out, mag back in. So mag out, round out, mag back in. This just again prevents mags from falling on the deck. Okay? This is going to be the same exact time. You're going to fire 2 rounds. So all we got to do is safety off, get your click. That's your audible to tap, make sure that magazine is seated, power stroke the gun, and fire your 2 rounds. All right, we're going to do that one more time. So mag out, round out, mag back in. So that is failure to feed or failure to fire. Next one, stovepipe. So we're going to pick up a piece of brass. We're going to press check the gun. Just kind of stick the stock in your gut. Press check the gun, and you're going to place that brass right against that other piece of brass. And there's a classic stovepipe, or what we call a shallow stovepipe. You can't have deep stovepipes. That's a whole other problem we'll get into later. Okay? This is just something easy to fix. This is the same time. Same thing, feel your trigger. So I identified that, so I cleared it with just a rack. So problem solving is problem solving, right? So we're going to set that up one more time. And then we're going to do a traditional immediate action on the same malfunction. So again, it depends on visibility, variables, light conditions. Can I feel the malfunction? Do I even know what it is? Do I have time to identify it? Immediate action versus problem solving. I like to stay on the side of problem solving versus just a recipe or some system for failure, okay? So just to keep that in mind. Last one, double feed. We're going to set the clock for 6 seconds. And then how we set it up. This is where we got it. It's exactly like the handgun video again. Lock and catch. Okay, I've got the round in my hand. I'm going to now press my ping pong paddle and keep it locked to the rear. I'm now going to take that bullet, and this is for a disclaimer and safety, guys. This is very, very, very important. Do not let this round go all the way down in the chamber. So let gravity be your friend in this case, and don't use it. Just drop the round in and send your bolt home. Okay? And what you now have is a classic double feed. You got 2 rounds fighting for the same chamber. Okay? If you set it up where the round goes down into the chamber with a live round, you're setting up a failure to extract. But the problem is you got a little pointy bullet going into the back of a primer, and if you slam that bolt home, your gun just detonated out of battery, and you're going to have some serious problems. Okay? All right, how we fix this? We're going to use that same old ditty again. I can ID because the gun is now doing this. It's a dead trigger. It's not a click anymore, right? Where the stovepipe even has a slight click to it, and a failure to fire is a distinct click. This has nothing. So what else feels like this? Well, we've got deep stovepipes. We've got bolt overrides or bolt over base. We've got other types of malfunctions that will create a dead trigger that's going to require a lot more problem solving instead of just hit the gun and make you magically think it's going to go back into battery. So I want to ID, lock, strip, rack, 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 gas it up, and go. Okay, so I want to make sure I've got another ammo source on me for this, unless it's all you got. If that's all you got, well, then you got to maintain the magazine in your hand as you do it. Okay. All right, 6 seconds on the clock, firing 2 rounds when I'm done. Go ahead and lock and catch. We're going to do that again. Rotate the gun over, drop the round in there, and send your bolt home, and you're ready to go. Okay, so there's my malfunctions. Now, before we go tally, we've got one more thing to do. We're going to do transitions now. So transitions are fairly simple, and again, as a disclaimer, be very safe when you're doing these things, okay? So we're now going to be transitioning into our handgun. I see a lot of people do transitions very unsafe and basically with no process. So we're going to give you guys a process here to add a lot of safety factor in. Never take a full magazine in a gun and do transitions to where you see a lot of people come up and fire, they put their safety on, they transition, they fire, they bring the live gun back up. Don't do that. Just use a dry gun. So what we're going to do is I'm going to grab my empty magazine from earlier. We are going to transition mags. Now I've got a fresh source. Empty mag and a gun. So now you know what's going to happen. I'm going to fire this carbine. It's going to be a dead weapon when I transition it, so we have total safety. I'm not going to get into the safety considerations right now as far as, hey, what do you do with your safety? Because that's a conversation for another time. You'll see what I do, okay? So you got 3 seconds on the clock to fire 1, transition, fire 1. and then I'll show you how to reset it. We'll do it one more time after that. Now, that's my shot. That's 195. Now I'm going to transition properly. We can add a little bit of problem solving and tactics into this. I tend to reach down and grab my carbine first, look in the chamber. Okay, that's not a malfunction. That is a gun that's out of ammo. And I'll swap them. Okay? As long as I know I'm going to stay on the carbine, I'll put the handgun back away. At that point, I'll then speed reload the gun and manipulate your safety if you need to at that point. All right, so that's it. Now we're going to go ahead and set it back up one more time. And you can see that round's already in the chamber from that speed reload. So we're ready to go. Go ahead and finish it up. And the drill's done. Now we're going to go down range and tally those 30 rounds to get us our 100% total. Okay. Okay, guys. So with that, there's your extra 30 rounds. So we're going to go ahead and count everything that's outside right now. There's only one outside. That last handgun round that I fired. Obviously, because of the acoustics in here and the Coriolis effect, it can make that handgun round really jump far at 3 yards. Okay. Hey, I'm a human too. Surprise. Now, with that, there's one out. What do we got now? One miss. I was good on the time. I've got a total of 7. 7 out right now. So 7, if I want to stop right here, 100 rounds, there's 93%. So I'm still in there. And again, just like we've been saying this whole time, guys, we don't want to come out and do this perfect, right? And if we're doing it perfect, then it's hard for us to find what's wrong. And when you get it down by doing it over and over and over, eventually that wrong just kind of pops out at you. And that's why we want to help you guys with a process. When you go out to the range, whether it's an indoor range like here or whether it's out in the wilderness, out in the desert, wherever you're going, you're doing a qualification, you want to do some more stuff for your law enforcement teams or military guys, put the pressure on, okay, individually. Remember, everybody's going to do this differently. Everybody's going to have a different skill set. If I had 25 other shooters here right now, all of us would have a difference in our balance of speed and accuracy, right? So just because somebody's got 100% all the time doesn't mean they're actually a 100% shooter, just like Bruce said in one of the other videos. So guys, keep training, stay sharp, be safe, and stay tuned for a lot more coming from us this year.